it is good to identify with our diverse ethnic groups, in national matters, ethnicity leads to widespread exploitation and violence.
It can also lead us to national crisis of corruption, poverty, and underdevelopment.
You have a role to play because you are Nigeria, and Nigeria is you.
What must we do?
We must understand, promote, and preserve those values that ensure harmony and respect for one another. You are Nigeria, and Nigeria is you. This message is brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA, with support from Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
Good morning, viewers. You're welcome to NOA River State Dialogue, the platform where we educate, sensitize, enlighten, and reorientate the public on government policies, programs, and activities. In doing this, we consciously get a feedback for government to properly fine-tune our policies to suit the people which they are done for. Now, the Yuletide period, as we all know, is a period of rush. It's a time when people are winding down. There is this mad rush. But you know what? If you must take that break, take it. If you want to go to that holiday, go to the holiday. If you want to wind down with your family, go have fun. Have that fun. But you know what? You have to do it with a lot of caution and wisdom. Now, what you have to talk about a man who carries his entire family into a car, goes to the village, and begins to introduce his children one after the other to his uncles, to his neighbors. Meet Ifoma. Ifoma is in Harvard. She's about to round up. Meet Okechukwu. Okechukwu, I just rounded up and he's having a top job in oil company. And this is the new car I just bought. This car is this. And then the man comes back home with myriads of problems. Sometimes last life are lost. Think about that. Viewers, today we'll be discussing the topic, EMBER month, citizens, safety, and security. Joining me in the studio this morning to discuss this topic is no other person than APINAH. It might interest you to know that APINAH is Assistant Corps Commander, Road Safety, River State Sector Command. Sir, you're welcome to the River State Dialogue.
Good morning, viewers.
Viewers, my name is Abi. I am your anchor for today's program. Live, those streaming live with us, you've heard the topic. Begin to send in your comments and your contributions. In due time, the telephone line will also be open so that you can use that, you can reach us through that platform. So let me just start on this lighter note. Now, this mad rush during EMBER month, is it peculiar to Nigeria or is it all over the world?
It's all over the world. People travel to celebrate the Christmas with their loved ones at various places.
And all over Europe and America. December, is this all the same? Because I want us to narrow it down and look at it vis-a-vis the Western world.
I will not want to start discussing the Western world. Let's limit it to the context of Nigeria.
Okay.
That is where I'm more familiar with.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying, let's do a little bit of what the world is a global village.
Yes.
You can. It's a lot of things we do. We didn't originate it, as a matter of fact. We saw it somewhere. We only brought it and then we domesticate it, so to speak, so that it can suit our world. But it's not originated from here, and the world is a global village, so to speak. There's what they call this peer group mechanism, and people try to compare themselves with one another to get better. So there's no way we can discuss this thing. I want to look at it. Of course, this is the part 2. The first part we look at it from, but I want to look at it. Where did this thing come from? Where did Nigeria learn this thing from? This mad rush. Why is it that people want to make whatever they've not made in the first 8 months? They want to make it at all costs in the last 4 months?
You see, the Christmas itself is a celebration, and it comes with a lot of expenses. So people want to get that money within that period, and you don't just go to meet your family in wherever they are to celebrate the Christmas period without having enough money. You need those money, and that's where the tendency of people trying to make money, the starts in the mad rush. You look at what you have at hand, and you look at your expectations, what you expected to spend, and the money involved like that. You see people start struggling. You see that rush, and when you bring it to the Nigerian context, people go extra mile, and that's where you take it to road safety. You see drivers want to make more money. The situations where you travel to Lagos, let's take it to Lagos. The trip will take you just 1 day to Lagos. By the time you get to Lagos, you'll be in the evening. But you see the driver want to come back that same day again, pick passengers again, and start coming back. And fatigue setting, so many things setting, and at the end of the day, issues of crashes and all those other things comes in. That is one of it. Then secondly, still taking back to road safety again. You see the high level of people wanting to travel. The number increases. So people don't care whether it is day or night. They want to travel provided there is vehicle. Even though it is 12 midnight, if there's a vehicle, they want to board that vehicle. And the drivers make this vehicle available for them to travel, irrespective of the risk associated with night travel. And the end result is crash. And that's why we discourage people from traveling in the night.
Yeah, the end result is crash. Let's just quickly join our correspondents who's on standby. We'll come back as we just take them. Who's on standby in Port Harcourt City local government area? Samson, we're all yours. Please take it off from here.
Mr. Adiesenigbo, for having me once again into another episode of a NOA dialogue. My name is Olu Samson, and I'm coming from a NOA office, River State, and Kumu, Port Harcourt City local government. I am reporting live from the office of Head of Civil Defense Department in Port Harcourt City local government, Moscow Road. And my report is on EMBER month, citizens' safety and security. As we are aware that security is the problem of every individual in this country. That is why people need to be ready, prepared before time. It is on that background, it is against that background that the state primary health care came up with the concept of River State emergency preparedness on EMBER month 2022 EMBER month fatality reduction. With me here is Mrs. Itoro. Mrs. Itoro, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Itoro, what is the impact, the important aspect of safety and security and the security personnel? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. The benefit of being security conscious, especially at this EMBER month, we all know that EMBER month is a very critical period. So the benefit of being security conscious is that it will help you to avoid situations that can expose you to danger. Now, we advise people at this critical period of the year to be very, very security conscious and safety conscious. You know, if you are safety conscious, even while driving, it will reduce the rate of accident on the road. So please, people should be very, very security conscious and safety conscious at this critical period of the year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Itoro, for having you. And over to you, Mr. Adiesenigbo, the NOA dialogue presenter. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Olu Samson, for that report. Just when we are in Port Harcourt City local government, the second discussant joined us. Viewers, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Prince AMATARY Bibialade. He is not a first-timer to this studio. He is the chairman the commander, sorry, DIOBU Vigilante. Sir, you're welcome to NOA River State Dialogue once again.
I'm happy to be in the studio today.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, viewers, before we join our father correspondence, we were actually talking about, this mad rush. What is it all about? Is it peculiar to Nigeria or is it all over? And the road safety man here, I just do justice to it. Now, I said this thing in my intro. This thing, Prince AMATARY, let me take you on this. Now, what is the thinking of Nigerians? How are they thinking? What is that thing that makes them feel that every business that has not succeeded, all the money you have not made, all the business that has not clicked, in the last 4 months you will make all by all means? Where is that thought coming from? And how is it that is culminating to this mad rush and crimes everywhere? Those. So, what's your take about that?
Right. It's the mindset, and when the mind is geared towards a particular aspect of life, you see things in that direction. I take the football as a case study. Sometimes you go to the football match, they said 30 minutes or 1 hour, you see people who will not be serious in that match. But getting to the injury time, see everybody want to put in their last effort. At that particular time, perhaps some persons may not even score even 1 goal. At that particular time, some persons may even take that opportunity to even destroy the other. So it is the mindset. But if people were having this attitude of planning, prioritize the activities, I think injury time will not be an issue to them. What is happening? It is a daily occurrence or a yearly event that once it is December, everybody wants to make, even those that are not even expecting anything, they feel that is the period they want to make heaven and earth. And at that particular period, criminals are also using that opportunity to see this is the time they want to make it. As people are busy in their daily activities without even conscious of the security implication of their daily activities, criminals are now taking inventory, taking statistics, movements, study people's movements, study people's car, study people's going in and coming out before you know what is happening. Like what happened a few days ago. You see. Criminals took this embezzlement as their birthright. They went for robbery on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, until we cramped them down on Sunday. Despite that we lost one of our personnel, they were able to gun them down on Sunday. Now the picture is, even me, I ask myself, is it that this is their handwork? We went to robbery Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even Sunday that people are going to church, we're still on the road to go and rob. That is to tell you that people are desperate in this season. And in as much as the society is getting desperate, that is where the society needs to be security conscious. Because we are too relaxed. When the society is too relaxed, you'll be vulnerable to the vulnerability of these criminals. Society, it is only in our society where somebody wants to go out from their house and he may not take inventory of the cars that are parked in front of him. Ask him if he goes out, when we are going out, how many cars were parked outside? He doesn't know because he's so relaxed. And unknown to you that somebody parked somewhere is parked monitoring you. You're going out and you're coming in. You don't say, hey, they kidnapped. Someone will say, hey, I saw a car parked. But the person they kidnapped, ask him or ask anybody if he's entering a vehicle, if you can detect the color of that vehicle. Or what is the clothes the driver is wearing. Because security wise, if anything happens, that's the first question they will ask you. So when society is relaxed in such capacity, I get me, definitely you will play out to the hands of these criminals. That is just the picture. So in this season, we should be security conscious to an extent. Security conscious from your bedroom to your doorstep, to your working place. You're coming back. These are activities that has made us not to be comfortable. Let me give you a picture. On Wednesday, these same criminals that we had an open fire with at the Center Abacha Road on Sunday. On Wednesday, they wanted to kidnap a cripple at a particular street. and they monitored him from morning till night. And why they were unable to kidnap him that particular day was he was repairing his car. So the mechanic delayed and he could not go with his car, so he took a taxi. That was how they made that happen. The same criminals still monitored him the next day. When I wanted to kidnap that particular cripple, whom they said he has money, the informant gave them a call. I'm building my trail road in my trail that somebody is bringing money. And they went there and laid ambush. We had an open fire with them. Then on Saturday, they still entered the road. He robbed Sangana, robbed D-Line, robbed Tombia extension of GRA. And the command was very angry because everyday distress call, and they succeed. So that Sunday, they still wanted to go after robbery. We have to trace them to warfare, to add a judge, to achieve, to send a version where we had an open fire with them. The picture is, if this person is painstakingly, without even looking at anything, they are working on people's wells to see how they succeed every day. I think the society should be more organized and be more security conscious to see how these activities should be performed.
Thank you, Commander Vigilante. That's a very in-depth analysis and awareness, enough awareness for our viewers out there. So I don't know, do you have anything to add to what you have just said?
No.
Okay. See, now this I said it during my intro. What is the thinking of a man, head of a family, the father? Just for the purpose of say he wants to celebrate Christmas, carries all his family, his wife, children, and all of them to village, and then start introducing one after the other of his children to his uncle, to his kinsmen, to his people. Meet Emeka. Emeka just graduated from Harvard with a first class. And then, in fact, there are 4 or 5 job offers for him. He's trying to look at the best. This is Kiru. Kiru just, just graduated. She has a top job. She just married to one of the richest. So she this person. This car is our latest fleet. This is the 7th car. It's a customized, rebuilt, and so begin to do those introductions in the village. Only for him to come back with myriads and loads of problems. Sometimes life is turned upside down. The children who are working in a fantastic place begin to lose their job one after another. The car, as they are coming, somersaulted, and a lot of things begin to happen. Now, what is that man thinking? What's your take? I just painted a scenario.
Yes, I got the scenario. The thing is, safety in particular will play a long role. Like he said when in his analysis, planning. When you plan, you put safety into consideration. You see, most times when people carry the whole of their family to the village, they put aside all the safety precautions. Like he said, you are supposed to take note of those black spots on the road as relate to security and as relate to safety. There are black spots, noted black spots. If it's a road that you fly every time, you know those spots. Even if it's not a road that you fly every time, as you are driving, if you follow the traffic rules and regulations, there are areas where you are supposed to maintain a particular speed, and you maintain all those things. Definitely, the safety of that family will be guaranteed. But when you negate or neglect those principles or those rules, definitely a problem will come. See now, a man planned to travel with the family, and the man failed to maintain or take the vehicle for adequate maintenance. Gets new set of tires, which tires is a very important part of the vehicle, most especially when you are embarking on a long distance journey. And you fail to do those things. You fail to get fire extinguisher in the vehicle, in the outbreak of fire. Because sometimes, like we always said, that accidents or road traffic crashes are 80% man-made, so which makes it preventable. And when you don't take those things into consideration, definitely things will go wrong. And when it goes wrong, all this suffering and pain which comes in. Celebration, we always say, you celebrate, you do the celebration now, you live to celebrate another day. So you travel with your family in a whole, you are supposed to come back in a whole too. That is how it is. But if you go and you get those kind of problems, definitely depressions and other things will start setting in, which is not healthy.
Thank you, sir. Commander, I want you to contribute in this particular question I asked, but before you do that, let us join our correspondents who is on standby from Akukutoro local government area where Thelma Horete is on standby. Thelma Horete, please take it up. We're all ears. Our ears are on you.
Good morning, Mr. D. Senator. I am HARCOURT from National Orientation Agency, Agricultural Assistant Home. This week, the NOA dialogue is discussing the topic EMBER month, citizen safety and security. And with me this morning is Mrs. Chigozie Ateke. Mark, can you throw a little light on this topic?
Thank you very much. Security is a state of being free from harm or danger. In this EMBER month, as we all know, is a period where there's enough rush and everybody wants to go out at the same time. But as you are going out, whether you're boarding a bike or you want to enter a bus, you should be very careful with the kind of bus you take. Apart from that, our children, when they are going out, you should monitor their movement and also make sure that they return home on time. And for our young girls, this time is a period where everybody wants to show what they have. Some people will come and say, come, let's go out. You should be conscious of where you go to and make sure you don't stay late at night before coming. And our drivers, we should be careful because sometimes some of us want to, because we want to get another people to enter our buses. We always want to be in speed. We should make sure we limit the speed we drive. I remember that those people that said goodbye to you is also waiting for you to tell you welcome. I remember we only have one life to live. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Horete Haridia, for your report. Yeah, Commander, I wonder what a man will be thinking, when you carry your people there. Yes, you should trust your people. It's a time to unwind. It's a time to meet people you not meet for, but is it wisdom when you begin to, introduce your people like that, and then particularly in a situation where the people you're introducing these people to are not anywhere near you, and sometimes they feel that they are supposed to benefit from you, they've not benefited, and then you're here introducing your children here, there, they are introducing cars, luxuries to them, and then you come back and then you begin to have all manner of problems. It's simply the wisdom. So what's your take, sir?
First, it is only those that are alive who continue to celebrate. And in as much as there is life, you celebrate. Certain celebrations are uncalled. It is not compulsory that every Xmas you must get to the village. It is not compulsory. In as much as, even if you want to even suit it to the economy of this country, I think it is not even ideal for you to pack you of your family and start going to village every Xmas, because if you pass, it is the Christmas period. Sometimes I've seen where some persons plan to go to their communities. At the end of the day, they misplace priority. At the end of the day, coming back is even an issue. In as much as there is life, we celebrate, and people need to celebrate at their comfort. Not you celebrating, you want to meet up. Perhaps you see Mr. A celebrating, and perhaps you see Mr. A with a flashy car. You want to also impress the community. I now live a borrowed life, and such borrowed life perhaps will take you to the direction where you put yourself on the time. So certain celebrations in this time where even the Nigerian government is not helping matters is uncalled for. So I believe that if truly we are celebrating, and if there is money, I'm not against celebration, but with the level of economy we are working with, the money to celebrate is even an issue. Talk less of living a life as we want to impress the society, and even impressing the society, even the kidnappers, the armed robbers, even your family, the enemies are even eyeing you. So I believe that we should disguise ourselves and even hide ourselves to an extent where we will not be vulnerable to the evil ones.
Yeah, thank you. Let's open the telephone line now. Viewers, the lines will be displayed on the screen. Let me just call them out once and then you call. However, when you want to call, please, wherever you are, when you get through, whatever device you're using to stream live, just reduce the volume so that we can have a fruitful conversation. Go straight to your name, your location, and then make your contribution as simple as possible. Keep it civil, because the conversation is for enlightenment, is for sensitization. Thank you. So, sir, let me say this. This one has to do with particularly road safety. Now, would it be right to say that most people who fall into the hands of armed robbery, kidnappers, and other form of crimes during the EMBER month while traveling is a result of their choice of means of transport? Now, what I'm trying to say, rather than going to the park, joining interstate transport company that is well known, well organized, some people decide to stay by the roadside to join vehicles, and sometimes they end up in the hands of kidnappers, ritual killers, and kidnappers. What's your take, sir?
Yes, we have this. We have this program which we call the Road Safety Standardization Scheme that involve transport operator, fleet transport operators, and we came up with this idea of manifests, so that by the time you go to a motor park that has these fleets that have manifests, you document your name, your address, your next of kin, your phone number, your destination, and where you are coming from. It's a safety standard and a safety check. And in the event that something happens, it is easier to reach the family through those numbers. And we know the company that is involved. You've seen crashes where both the driver and some of the occupant of the vehicle will die, and you don't have this document, this fleet of you find it difficult to know where the vehicle is even coming from, not to talk of where the vehicle is going to, except there are survivors in that vehicle that can furnish you with those informations. It now makes it difficult for you to even contact the family if there's a need for the victim to get assistance from the family. So we always encourage passengers to go to these fleet operators or go to the parks, known parks, where they can get the vehicle and get their information in this passenger's manifest. But by the time you go to the roadside, the mad rush that we earlier talked about, people devise so many means to get this money. Even people that are not commercial driver, because of the mad rush, you want more money for Christmas celebration. They are opportunity to have one vehicle or the other. They take it to the roadside there to pick passengers. Some of them are not even too familiar with the road, not to talk of even following the safety standards. Their vehicles are not good to travel that long distance. They put it. So in that case, such passenger is vulnerable to road crashes. And criminals to take advantages of that. I remember when I was somewhere in Nightmare, there was this between 2006 and 2010. The Nightmare used to be a traffic grid area. You see high traffic congestion. So with that, because of the large number of vehicles coming from different parts of the country meeting at that junction, so when you come across those traffic, the people start diverting, looking for alternative routes, and the criminals knows about that. So they will go to those places and wait for them. The next thing, while we're somewhere trying to free the traffic, you get calls start coming in. You see drivers start running to you before that they are armed robbery attack somewhere. So yes, it is true that if you go to the roadside, you are more vulnerable to criminal attack than when you go to the motor park. It's not like those that load from the motor park don't get attacked. They are all exposed, but you are more exposed if you take your vehicle from the roadside rather than the park.
Thank you, sir. The live streamers seem to be very active. Lots of messages there. So let's just take some messages. Blessing Jomo is streaming live with us. Rosemary Abihad is also streaming live with us. Thank you for streaming live. Bridget Idemio, abandoned vehicles should be removed to discourage, to decongest the road rather. Thank you, Bridget, for your thought there. This one again is from Bridget. The Federal Road Safety Corps should put in more effort to ensure that citizens abide strictly to safety rules and regulations that will enable them arrive at their destination safely. Thank you, Bridget, for your thoughts there. I'm sure that's what the road safety man is doing here. He's collaborating and also telling us what to do and what not to do if you're listening. But all the same thing, thank you for your thoughts there. This one is from Innocentia. Nigerians should be discouraged from night journey, especially this period. Oh, very good one there. Thank you for your contribution. Blessings over similar. Okay. Yingibo Tami Tiger, thank you. This one is from Ifi Amushiazi. Value reorientation is required to reduce the mad rush and anxiety during the Yule tide. That's what our commander here has told us. The time is not different from any other time, but I think it just mindset and reason. I think they've done justice to this. Christy Oma, you're streaming live with us. Thank you. Peter Kabie, do not leave the credit alert on your phone. Oh, that's a very beautiful one. Here, AMATARY, I just want you to make a little comment on this. He said something, in just one sentence, do not leave credit alert on your phone. What's the implication of this? You're a security person who interfaces with a lot of criminals.
Yes, sometimes it's not even good to even go out with a phone that's very valuable to you. The technology is so high that these hoodlums, they even have a control room of their own. Talk about a control room. Anytime they goes for robbery or anytime they goes to snatch phones, they bring such phones to a particular expert who is with a laptop. Some buy SIM card only. They only buy SIM cards from people that has gone for robbery. Some buy phones. And if there is any information in your phone, automatically they will work with your information.
Exactly.
Automatically. Even aside, even in a bank statement, bank SMS alerts, it will give them a picture that this person has money.
Yeah.
And they'll begin to work on it. So it is not even ideal to keep sensitive messages in your phone, and if such message cannot be removed, you can keep such phones at home. Because anytime criminals get in touch with your phone, first thing they will go to your phone. Some, if the phones are locked, they will definitely go to experts that will open that very particular phone. Some phones, if they put in the system, the code you use in locking it will open. Except that phone is a phone that is an outdated phone where the app to upgrade it is no longer there. But any modern phone, when you put it in the system, it will show.
Thank you.
Begin to work on these information.
Thank you. Now, this one is from Innocentia. Don't dress expensive when traveling. Now, I remember vividly when, there was this sea pirates, along the sea pirates. When you want to travel to this Sangama, Idama, and all those places, we had a program and I was eager to go. And then the teacher, the primary school teacher there was telling me that if I'm coming, I have to dress very haggard. That's the way they dress to deceive these people. And somebody I just said, don't travel expensive when traveling, and all these things are tips that used to attract them. Thank you, Essential, for your comment there. This one is from Charles William. You're streaming live with us. Antonio Zureke is also streaming live. The King of Williams. Citizens should be conscious of their environment at all times and be proactive at every situation and take responsibility on security and be safe. Thank you, Bekimo, for your contribution there. Doris Omaku streaming live with us. William Akwara, Samuel Achibad, you're streaming live with us. Thank you. Gift Sunday. Joining car from the park is not secure enough because most times the park call any driver outside to come pick people when there are no cars, at the road, no prepared car in the park. Oh, thank you, Gift, for your contribution there. The very famous by a very informal and Simora. Why are road safety lenient on some vehicles, which normally should be a road tag off vehicle? And most times these vehicles are the ones that can lead to road accident, cause of bad tires. I mean, what she means is that there are some cars that are not roadworthy. And let me take you on this. Cars that are not roadworthy, when you see some cars on Nigerian road, they are sorry side, honestly. And this car can easily cause road traffic accident. And then we think that that's majorly what road safety should do. Any car that is not roadworthy should not be on the road. What's your take, sir? You're road safety technician here.
We call them rickety.
Yeah, rickety cars, whatever car you want to call them, but they are not safe to be on the road. That's the bottom line.
What we do when we come across such vehicles, we impound such vehicles, and if based on the economic state of the country, since that vehicle is the driver's source of income, we will give him the benefit of doubt to fix the most vital part of the vehicle so that the vehicle can still go to the road. But we don't release such vehicle without those things being fixed. Such vehicles, when we come across them, we impound such vehicles. That's what we do, and we'll be doing it. If you go to our office line, you still see some of them. They are there.
Okay, this one is from Nintendo Echo. Drivers should not overload their vehicle. Finally, this one is from Ifi Amuchia. Strict compliance to manifest by passengers is necessary. This should be enforced by fleet operators. Thank you very much. He just said it. He said, in the organized motor park, you have this manifest where you have to put your nest of kin. I think that has been tried. Please still keep the comments coming as they come. We will take them. Commander, let me take you on this now. How proactive are security agencies? How proactive ready are they? You work with them. Be sincere with this question. I'm targeting because you work with the police and other security agencies. How proactive are they? Because most times the robbery would have been finished. They would have finished killing the people, selling their parts before they arrive in. And this thing happen, often. How proactive are they? Be sincere. Be sincere in your tackling of this question.
Yes, I came to find out that the proactiveness of security agencies has to do with the government equipping them. I found out that the Nigerian security system is not working the way it ought to be because the government have not placed priority on it. I will come to your question. Security-wise, if I would say we don't have security in this nation, and reason being that the government have failed to equip the security outfits who ought to fight crime and criminality. If I take divisions as case study, some divisions don't even have a patrol vehicle. They don't. Let me say I take Mbolu as a case study. The operation we went for this is at the jurisdiction of Mbolu and Sanabasha police station. And with the level of arms those criminals were carrying, the two divisions can withstand them without missing words. I went with Octopus Strike Force, but it was not an easy battle. Even when we were equipped, but the criminals were equipped, and the level of arms they were carrying, the division can withstand them. In the first place, the division has also lost their primary responsibility in fighting crime. They have made standing on the checkpoints, extorting money as their primary responsibility. And the same criminals that were tracking this 1 week were rotating the same places, passing the same checkpoints. So invariably, I take division out of it. Then the tactical team also. Do you know that before we wanted to take this operation, patrol vehicles were issued to us. These operations, you don't take police patrol vehicles. But before we put ourselves in order to get undercover vehicles, it took us almost 2 hours. It took us almost to an extent where we have to fall back to cars that have been recovered to go for these operations. And automatically, if an operation is to last for 5 minutes, and you are not organized to put yourself in terms of mobility, automatically the criminals will continue to have the upper hand. And I begin to understand a lot in the admins. Yeah, there are some persons that are ready to fight the crime, but they are handicapped. In terms of handicap, when a man is not mobilized, in terms of mobilization of arms, mobility, communication, will fall back to the hands of this criminal. And the speed at which this criminal wanted to strike, mostly this particular team that will foil. The first day that they came out with the Toyota Corolla light green and with the Toyota Corolla black. These are criminals. Look at how they mobilize themselves with mobility. And police were just looking for just 3 vehicles as undercover to go for this operation, but it took us time. So the governments, if there is anywhere they should invest more in security. Security is very expensive, but people don't even see it in that way. Security is very expensive. When you talk about security, ask every tactical team if in Rivers State, each tactical team, if each command, if they are having up to 5 patrol vehicles. They don't. Most of the vehicles they use, sometimes they use their private vehicles. As I am now, I use my private vehicle. While a security outfit, a home security outfit that is complementing the effort of security from days to day, yet you are relaxed. But the relative peace people enjoy today is these collective efforts. The governments have failed. Instead of them maybe equipping security agencies, they go and equip criminals, non-entities. We are aware of what is happening. So in terms of working the way it ought to be, there are some officers that are ready to work, but they don't have this equipment to work. And when they don't have, what will they do? Even if this record comes, will you just go with empty hand? You will not. Sometimes officers are well. Security gadgets include the patrol vehicle, the arms, the bulletproof, the communication gadgets. Most of these vehicles they use, some don't even have communication gadgets, apart from the walkie-talkie radio they handle. But it goes beyond that. The security aspect of it goes beyond that. And no criminals will go up. Before these criminals started striking, they sit there, take inventory of the place they want to strike. They communicate. Sometimes, I as a person will go to the police station and say, I'm having an intelligence gathering of so place, look at the condition. Before we put ourselves in order, security-wise, to go there, it will take us 1, 2, 3 hours. And you and me know that crimes don't take time. And it is not because I'm very close to the security agencies, and my informations are very accurate. And 2, I go for the operations myself also. So, but ordinary person, you cannot just walk to the police and say, please don't say after, they will not follow you. Even people like us, it takes us time. We'll build ourselves, we'll make it before we get to that place. It is not as easy as it is. Talk of someone that is not connected. You make your course, and at the end of your course will be meaningless. Sometimes you call the police control, and the police control will assign, if they say which area will they say is immigration office, Aba Road, and you know that the jurisdiction of that place is Aba police station. Now the question is, does Aba police station has what it takes to respond to this distress call? If they have mobility in terms of arms, do they have? And most of the police officers who have already lost priority, have already lost focus. So every officer is expected that distress calls will come at every given point in time. Even as a home-based security outfit, I prepare for distress calls every day. But most police officers have lost that place and focus on what is not on ground.
So what are we saying? What are you saying right now? Is it that the police people have lost focus, or they are not properly equipped to be proactive?
Now,
let's get it straight now.
Yes, one, on the aspect of the police officers, the inability of equipping them has also made them to lose focus on their primary responsibility. What is their primary responsibility? As you come to the police station, you should, in fact, if you are assigned to a patrol vehicle, you should be able to understand that the purpose for you that day, you must get distress calls. So if you have not seen that as a focus, that is a misplaced priority. Standing there to collect that 20 naira, is not the purpose for which you are there. So when such policeman receive a distress call, he will see you as someone that is inconveniencing you. He will even say, or sometimes you come with an injury and you are walking to the police station, and you say, look at what happened to me. Instead of them attending to you, because they have misplaced that priority, they begin to ask you questions that will even annoy you, and sometimes you say, instead of me going to the police, let me go to the vigilante. With all humility, people are confident in coming to the home-based security than going to the police station, because going to the police station has a lot of difficulties. So the picture here is the police has a role to play. Some police want to put in their input, but the atmosphere
it's not conducive.
It's not conducive for them to make this input.
Okay, so let me just, we're running out of time now. When we talk of security and safety now, we're not just talking about this. Although this particular question is supposed to be for firemen, the fire people, firefighters and all of that. But as paramilitary and the military people, I know sometimes you meddle into all of these things. It's safety, or under the safety thing. So, how would a good housekeeping, contribute to preventing fire? When we talk of good housekeeping, we're talking about maybe night at night, particularly for the man, or when others are asleep, you just go around, watch your switch, what to off, look at everything. Is everything off, and all of that. How will this contribute to preventing fire outbreak, particularly now that we know the U-type period comes with also a dry period AMATARY.
Yes.
So ignition is very, very easy. So how does a good housekeeping contribute to fire disaster, sir?
Yes, the issue of fire, that is as relation to the house, is always advisable before you go to bed. You put off all the electrical appliances, switch on the lights, leaving only the light outside, which is the security light. Then at the same time, it's always advisable that you have a fire extinguisher in your house in the event that there's a fire outbreak or this fireball. Quickly activate it. It helps to prevent the fire before it go out of hand, before you can now call the fire service. So these are just preventive measures to ensure that fire will reduce the incidence of fire outbreaks in our homes.
Okay, now what could be responsible for fire service? There is this thing, this is a common knowledge. Commander, let me just put, majority of the time, distress call will come for fire service. And most times we hear complaints, like very funny complaints. We have heard even situations where they say there is no water. They will come when the place is completely burnt down. Why is this? And it's a recurrent decimal, it's not one, it's not two. Such that in recent time, there has been report that when the fire people come, they attack them, they beat them.
To me as a person, I've said it often and often. Issues that have to do with the common man, it doesn't carry weight. Listen, if there is a fire incident in government house, there will be prompt response. That is just the thing. But when it has to do with common man, they play with it. So issues like this, it is even glaring to the ear that fire servicemen will tell that they don't have water to offer, or they don't have vehicle. Then what is the statutory duty as a fire service office or operator? So those issues are, and sometimes you don't even see penalties. But right, when such issues come at the end of the day, for you to even make such a statement that it was because there is no water or there is no motor battery in a fire service vehicle, automatically that means you don't even know the reason why you are there. Purpose is the reason for existence. So when purpose is defeated, then there is no need of that institution coming to existence. That's just the plain truth.
Well, thank you, sir. This contribution, I think there is a question, is from a very informal Ezemora. Please, I think, let me just put it to you. You said, please, based on knowing citizens' rights and to avoid harassment, delays, and extortion on the road, what are the checks responsible by Road Safety Corps to ask, and the checks responsible for police force to ask? Because stopping a vehicle at every point and delaying can make a journey tiring, which also contribute to excess speed of drivers to meet up for the day. I believe knowing these check tips will also help our drivers to prepare before entering the road and having a smooth ride. Now, let me just break down. It's a very long time, but let me just break down. What she meant is that what are those things police checks and what are those things road safety checks? Because they stop people and they keep them on the road, and sometimes they spend the whole of their time and they get exhausted and all of that. So, as a road safety person, I'm sure you know the departure between your duty and the duties of the police. So, what are those things to be checked quickly? Because we are running out of time.
Okay, police check vehicle papers. That is what they check. They stop to check your engine to know whether it is a stolen vehicle. They are out there for security.
Okay.
So it is the vehicle papers that will tell them whether the vehicle is your vehicle or is a stolen vehicle.
Okay.
That is what I believe they check. Then for the road safety, we check for expired tires, worn out tires.
Okay.
Use of seatbelts. That depends the occupant of the vehicles are using seatbelt, most especially the front passenger and the driver. Then we equally check for if the driver is licensed to drive on the road. So, but the thing is that most times we check what they call critical offenses, and those critical offenses are offenses that you can see from a distance. You don't just stop vehicle like that.
Okay.
Or rather, except by doing stop and check.
Yes.
From a distance, you'll be able to tell from let's say 50 meters, 100 to 50 meters, you'll be able to tell that the passenger is not using seatbelt. So such vehicle will flag such vehicle down or broken windscreen. Those offenses are very, very primary that you can see without even the vehicle getting to you. And when they see such vehicle, definitely they'll flag down that vehicle. Then at times we do stop and check. That is where you see them stopping vehicle at random and start demanding for driver's license and other vehicle papers.
Okay, quickly, Commander. Let's what are the various safety, safety and security tips coming from your angle? You're more like you're not a conventional security man, but you're more like you work with them so much that there's nothing you don't know. From your background, from your perspective, what are those tips? I want you to look at the camera and tell Nigerians, now the Yuletide is coming, the rush is there, we're entering into the critical week by the next 1 or 2 weeks.
For car owners, before you drive out of your house, first, as you're driving out, make sure your 4 doors are locked. If your car is not having AC, make sure your glasses are to a larger extent, where somebody cannot easily penetrate to open your car to disarm you.
Okay.
Once you are security conscious to that extent, because even the criminals out there, as you are driving, they are looking at you first to know whether your doors are locked in. So when they see that your doors are not locked, they'll open your door. If you open your door, they've distracted you. At that particular time, if it is all this particular tip, as they open your door, say what? They'll pick your phone, they'll have to say sorry. I'm knowing to you that they have distracted you with your door and they collected your phones. They say, if it's people that wants to rob you, they say, even if they are with arm, that first opening your car and it is locked, it has discouraged them. They know that they will delay time. And no criminal wants to go to the road to waste time. Any victim or any man that wants to take their time, they will avoid you. For security agencies not apprehended. So for car owners, make sure your car is always locked. Then for passengers, when you get to any junction to enter vehicle, you don't just be in a hurry to enter that vehicle. Design that vehicle, not the person that are inside. I've seen a situation where somebody wants to enter a vehicle and you were just focusing at the front seat, and at the back seat somebody is lying down. As soon as they enter there and pointing gun, it happens. So passengers want to enter vehicle, they don't look at these things. They just be in the order they enter. Peep at the vehicle, peep inside to know if there are external persons in the vehicle. If there are external persons, look at their faces very well. The Holy Spirit will speak to you in a language you understand. You don't just rush into vehicle and at the end of the day say, they've robbed me, they robbed me. You know the color of the vehicle you are entering, the clothes of the driver, what is he wearing. And when everybody knows you are security conscious to that extent, it will be very difficult for you to be vulnerable to these persons.
Very difficult for you to be vulnerable. So in 2 minutes, I just want you to, from your background, what are the tips? You know, the tips for now. We are entering into the mad rush.
Yes.
What are those security and safety tips? You know, citizens are supposed to adhere to so that they don't fall victim.
Okay, I will break it down to both drivers and passengers, just the way it is. For the drivers, obey all traffic rules. Apply the recommended speed limit. We all know the recommended speed limit for buses, which is 90 km per hour. Get new tire. Be discouraged from using Tokumbo tire, which is the used tire, because they are not safe. Then avoid overloading, because it makes to lose of control and tire burst. Then for the passengers, go to the parks and get your vehicle. And when you get to the parks, ensure that you go around, take your time, go around the vehicle, look at the tires of that vehicle. You go to a lot of parks, you see that the tires are already worn out. If the tires are worn out, please don't raise your complaint. And if the vehicle is overloaded, draw it to the attention of the management of that park. That's the tip.
Thank you. Viewers, this is where we're going to round it up for today in the River State Dialogue. I want to sincerely, thank everyone that streamed live with us. Your contributions here had flesh to the conversation, no doubt. So thank you very much. In case we didn't read any comments, it's not because you're slighted or because we don't love you. It's just because of time. I also want to appreciate the two gentlemen in the studio. Sir APINAH, well, we appreciate your presence here.
Thank you.
And I hope you will oblige us next time.
Thank you.
For Commander, for some time we've not seen you, you just resurfaced again. It's a very good one. We thank God that God kept you alive even when you have to go and interface with these criminals. All the same thing, we thank you for your time. Thank you for your insights too. And I also want to use this opportunity to thank the Director General National Nutrition Agency, Dr. Gaba Bari, who has given us this platform to do these things we are doing. He is the executive producer of the NOA River State Dialogue. Thank you, sir, for giving us this platform, and we know you're always watching. Thank you. I want to also thank Barrister Yomaya Tamno, the State Director. You have kept this thing religiously going for now more than 100 episodes. Blow by blow, out of nothing. So thank you for your good work you're doing. I want to sincerely appreciate the studio director and the HOD of this department, who is no other person than Arole Briggs. We thank you, sir, for your passion, for how you're glued to this thing, to how you're bent to see it work no matter anything. I also want to appreciate your able assistant, Ifoma Ezemora, who is always by your side, making sure that things go straight. My name is Abiye Senebo. I just want to leave you with this tip. The EMBER month is not different from any other month. It's our mindsets. Let's use wisdom to enjoy. If you must take that leave, take it. If you must wind down, wind down. If you go to that holiday, go. But apply so much caution. Be security conscious this time. If you see something, say something. In our last episode, the civil defense man said something. He said, busybody is not allowed. But when it comes to security matters, please be busybody. Know what is happening to your neighbor. Know that next person that move. What is he doing? What did he go there for? So be busybody. Until this is where we draw the curtain, until we come your way. Next week, same day, same time. Stay safe. Bye-bye.